Welcome to Deep Thought. It seems like some people embrace ignorance. I'm gonna tell you what, one of the main reasons for this particular channel is to think. That's why I say it, even in cases where if you were to disagree with me on something, I don't have a problem with it as long as you explain why you disagree. And only reason I have that policy just on this channel, I'm totally ego driven on my other channels, but on this particular channel, I want you to think. I want you to think. One of the problems that I see out here with many people, they don't think about stuff. They follow easily. And one of the biggest things is not even just following, but just embracing ignorance. Ignorance, not knowing something, just being stupid. And they thinking it's cool. They thinking it's cool. And it's just like, what? What? Why are you doing that? How come you're not trying to find out what's going on with something? Why are you being ignorant and thinking that's a cool thing, it's a great thing? Why? And it's just like, why? That's why even on this particular channel, even in cases where I say I don't have a problem if you disagree with me, as long, notice what I'm saying, I'm giving a caveat to it, as long as you can explain it. I don't mind different viewpoints, as long as you can explain it, as long as you show that you're thinking. I don't want blind followers on this channel. But see, you have some people who have commented and it's just from a place of ignorance. You can just tell how it was. They're not really trying to have a real discussion about it. They just talking just to go against whatever I'm saying. That's ignorance. That's ignorance. Indeed, when you find out about something or somebody, you try to find out for your own. That's why in a video a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, I'm not sure, but I said, research things. Don't just follow anything. That's why I even say, just don't follow just what I say. Research it. Find out for yourself. Because to me, that can be ignorance, just rejecting what I'm saying without researching, or even accepting what I'm saying without researching. But of course, we got some people out here, and we've seen it. Sometimes they might be the lower level theys that are in our families, or in our friendship network, or acquaintance network. If you friends with people like that, you might need to think about some things because your friends will affect you. Maybe I'll talk about this in the future. But you have people, they going through life, they don't want to know. They don't question anything. They just followers. To me, they embracing ignorance. Just as long as it feels good to them or something like that. And they might, I don't know. It was like they not asking questions. I don't mind if people ask questions. I really don't. I ask a lot of questions. In fact, I've gotten on people's nerves asking questions. You know, there was this, well, I call them all young ladies. She was probably close to my age. She's probably in her late 50s or something. And she was trying to get money out of me. She was hitting me up saying, oh yeah, I had this issue. Our bank got hit. Somebody stole some money out of there and everything. But I kept asking questions. She got mad. And I was just like, but hold up, you asking for a lot of money. I'm not going to just say, oh, I'm just going to give it to you. This is somebody I haven't met. I've never even met this person in person yet. This particular lady. But I was going to just ignorantly just follow along just because she takes some pretty pictures or something. And then I found out somebody else who knows this said, yeah, she does stuff like that. I was like, no. But somebody ignorant probably would have said, oh, you're beautiful. Let me just hand you the money. Please, probably wouldn't have heard from her again. Ask questions. But see, some people, they don't do it. And indeed, some people, there's actually people out here who don't want to know any better. They don't want to know. They even, I've heard people say, well, I don't want to know that. I don't want to know that. They'll try to jump on somebody being smart, somebody asking questions. It's like, what's wrong with that person? It's like, nah, don't embrace ignorance. That's one of the worst things. Now, if you do something because you take an action because you've researched it, and if for whatever reason it falls into your belief system, yeah, okay. If you researched it, you decided, even if somebody else disagrees with it, okay, you've researched it, you know. But when somebody embraces ignorance, they just don't want to know. There was a comedian, I think it was Chris Rock, he was talking about some people just don't want to know something. I don't want to know that. It's like, come on now, come on. You can't be around people like that. Those are the people the theys really love, because those are the people who the theys can get to follow whatever program they have. They want people to be ignorant. In fact, I would say you have many powers that don't want people to be educated right now. Don't want to ask questions. Don't want to know what they're doing. They want people to be ignorant, because those are the people easiest to control. And I'm gonna tell you what, even on this channel, I don't want somebody ignorant. I want people to think. I want people to think about something. Don't just because I'm looking a certain way, standing, sitting in front of a bookcase, that I know everything. I don't. I've already said I don't. And I know that. I know that. See, one thing about an ignorant person too, a lot of times they don't know what they don't know. I know I can explain quantum physics in French or Chinese. And indeed, somebody who's really has knowledge, no matter how much knowledge they have, they don't know everything. But they're not ignorant. They're not ignorant of who they are and what they know and don't know. But you have some people, they'll know a little bit. They know a little tiny bit and think, oh yeah, I got this. And it was like, nobody on this planet nobody that I know of knows every single thing. Every single person that, as far as I know, has to learn something. If you know somebody who knows every single thing, please let me know. But we all have to learn. We can't embrace just not knowing who we're gonna follow, not knowing what spiritual system we follow. Let me jump on that real quick. I've had more than a few times people say, hey, how come I don't teach a spiritual system on here? I was like, no, because I want people to explore on their own. I don't want to unduly influence somebody to do something. I want you to learn on your own. And if you know that you don't know, well, that's not ignorant right there. You know you don't know, you have something to learn. And but some people, they just go, they don't know, and they embrace that and they think it's cool. You have some people who, they don't want to get further knowledge of something. They might be comfortable where they at for whatever reason. They don't want to know what's going on politically, economically, whatever, socially. They get in a spot and that's where they at. And you don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want to be one of those people. And I would hope anyone who supports this channel is not in that position. I want you to think of it. Think about that. Think about the people around you who might be there. You might have to shy away from them, as we used to say. All right? So anyway, think on this. And I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.